Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and I'm here with your Hammers headlines for today, Wednesday, the 4th of December, run in association with KUMB.com. Now, today we are going to be discussing some non-Lopetegui news because everything's about Lopetegui at the moment. We're here to mix it up. Plus, I spoke in this afternoon's video for about 15 minutes about Lopetegui. So we're going to do something a little bit different and tell you some different headlines. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Come on, you Irons. Boop. I've got to start by just apologising for whatever that weird boot noise was that I just did. I needed to fill time because I didn't have the video ready on the screen yet. It was all lagging a bit. And for some reason, the noise that came to my head to try and fill time was boop. So there you go. There you have it. Anyway, for your first story, Everton's former chief, Keith Wyness, has said on the Football Insider podcast that any new West Ham owners would need to commit to fixing the London Stadium. Now, he's got his own consultancy where he advises top-level clubs, saying that the project to fix our stadium could cost, are you ready? Between 500 and 600 million pounds. That's a little bit expensive. That's a few shirts in the club shop, that is. So as we know, the stadium was originally built for the Olympics and was therefore not suited to a football crowd or a game day in terms of the view or the capacity to deal with such high demand for food and drinks at one specific time at half time. To the colour of the carpet and the position of the seats. There were lots of things, and some changes have been made to try and alleviate some of these issues, but obviously there's still a lot of room for improvement. So Wyness has said that more can be done technically, architecturally, to make the stadium a better fit for football fans. And we've kind of known that this can be done and assumed it is an expensive feat. But given his price estimate of what this would cost, it does not sound like it's that achievable. As fans, obviously we want the best match day experience, don't we? So any changes to us sound brilliant. But there are some massive considerations. So from the time needed to actually make these upgrades, where we would play football during this time, how long it would take, to the cost itself. And a big thing for any new owners that would be looking at whether or not they want to do this is whether or not they can recover the cost from it by making those changes to the stadium. And from everything I can see, I can't work out how we would get 500 to 600 million pounds back from a stadium that brings a better match day experience. And just from a business point of view, from somebody that's solely investing in the club and doesn't care about making that match day experience as good as it can be, I can imagine that they would say they're selling out regardless. So ultimately, they're not going to get more revenue coming in by giving fans a better view of the pitch, as difficult as that is to accept, I suppose. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But 500 to 600 is insane. Now, up second, when we brought in Wan-Bissaka as an upgrade to Coufal, the hope was that we would continue to bring in more talent and focus on younger players and having a bit of a rejuvenated squad that has a bit more longevity. Longevity? My words are all getting jumbled there. But reports are now suggesting that the club are preparing a new deal for 32-year-old Vladimir Coufal. So there's no denying that the right back is a solid backup option, but choosing to keep players on that we know don't have age on their side doesn't seem like the biggest message of intent. We are, of course, still getting our use out of Coufal. We brought him on last night, and it has been helpful because we can then move Wan-Bissaka to left back, and it makes way for Coufal to come on at right back. That said, Wan-Bissaka and Bowen have been linking up nicely on the right, so it's not ideal to be moving him over to the left, where we've been chopping and changing on that side. And if we're doing that, it essentially makes Coufal our first choice right back in that scenario where Wan-Bissaka goes left back. So another player that we can add into the mix who hasn't been getting game time under Lopetegui and wasn't even on the bench against Leicester is Cresswell. But again, he's another player that is ending his football career, coming towards the end of it anyway, and signed a 1-year contract extension at the beginning of the year. So the question I've got for you is, are you happy to hear that Coufal could be signing a new deal? And would you want it to be a short-term one if so? Because let us know down below in that comment section. It's going to be interesting to see what happens though, because I am a big believer in us building the squad out for the future. But if we can keep him as a backup, then I don't mind that for another season because he does a job when it's needed. But I don't want us relying heavily on Coufal now because as you get older, obviously pace is difficult, injuries start creeping in more. It's going to be difficult. Need a first choice one. And finally, we are hopeful that Man City's James Mcatee may be a potential signing in January. So, following on from the success of Cole Palmer and Liam Delap coming from City and then going on to do really well at other clubs, we will be hoping that Mcatee could be the next in the list of players to do the same. The cost for him would be £20 million, which is a lot, but if the potential is there, it could be worth a calculated risk. So far this season, the attacking midfielder has only had 1 minute of Premier League action. He's failed to impress Guardiola after loan spells at, I believe, Sheffield United. And as always, we're not alone in our pursuit of the player, with Crystal Palace also being keen to sign the 22-year-old attacking midfielder. But the question is James Mcatee one that excites you, or do you think we should be looking at more proven players at this level of football, especially for 20 million? If you end up with a Cole Palmer, you've had an amazing bargain. We know that City can produce talented players. The question is James Mcatee one, and could we bring the talent out of him and make use of it at West Ham? Drop your thoughts below in that comment section. So there you have it. Those have been your Hammers headlines for today. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. And until next time, have an amazing day. Come on, you Irons. Irons.